guys, it is Dani'i and welcome to this update video. I really do hope you're doing fantastic this morning. Maybe you're in prep mode, especially if you are in Jamaica. So Tropical Storm Melissa is going to be closing in, and today, especially this morning, will be the final opportunity for persons in Jamaica to finalize their preparations before conditions start to significantly deteriorate. So if you have not been preparing for Melissa, if you've been pretty much waiting and seeing what may happen, at this point, it doesn't matter if there's landfall or not. We are in for a multi-day event of potential catastrophe in the country here. So we're going to be looking at the system, and on the satellite imagery here we can see that it is certainly producing a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. It's definitely getting itself together, and over the course of the next day or so, as it pretty much recovers from all of that wind shear which impacted it, that is really when the strengthening trend will be resuming. So later today and going into tomorrow. And it is expected to become a hurricane by tomorrow evening, and then a period of rapid intensification is forecast to begin. So we'll look at the cone forecast momentarily, but we can see here that all of that rain associated with Melissa reaches far and wide. So the Dominican Republic and even Puerto Rico have experienced and still experiencing some instances of heavy rain being influenced by Melissa, and we have the outermost band starting to actually touch or brush the eastern part of Jamaica. So now is the time when you should be finalizing or almost finalizing your preparations for the system. And this is the latest cone forecast from the National Hurricane Center. So we can see that Melissa is still sustaining those maximum winds up to 45 miles per hour, and currently it is moving to the north at 2 miles per hour. Now, as that area of high pressure builds north of the Caribbean as we head into tomorrow, we'll start to see a westward motion with Melissa. Hence the reason it is expected to make that curve, and the center is going to be passing just to the south of Jamaica, and it's going to be close enough for those hurricane impacts to begin by late tomorrow night, maybe going into Sunday morning. So I'm eventually expecting that the hurricane watch will soon be upgraded to a hurricane warning for the island. And it is not going to be moving at a very, very fast rate. It is expected to gradually pick up in its acceleration, but we're talking days upon days of dangerous, unrelenting impacts for the island of Jamaica. And then Melissa should become a major hurricane by Sunday, and at this time when it would be at its closest to Jamaica, potentially making landfall, the winds are expected to be that of a strong Category 4 hurricane. Again, I say we have not had a major hurricane landfall since Gilbert of 1988. However, even if we don't get landfall, that's not going to necessarily make the impacts less intense if the system passes just offshore the western coast. So what to expect? Tremendous rainfall totals, guys. This is going to result in significant flooding, and those periods of heavy rain will likely start later today, and they will gradually be exacerbated as we head throughout the weekend and into next week. Winds are going to be picking up, first going into tropical storm territory and then hurricane force winds, which will likely result in some damage, maybe some downed trees and damage to power lines. So the power is going to go at some point. And also, as the system strengthens, there's going to be the storm surge, the coastal flooding caused by the winds pushing the water on shore. So if you are along the coast, it is time to evacuate. This today is your final chance to do so. This could also be a potentially historic situation for Jamaica, and the trends here are definitely locked in. And then we talk about southern Haiti. So southern Haiti is under that tropical storm warning as well as a hurricane watch. So because Melissa is going to be so close, even though the center will be away from the country, it is going to be close enough to unleash likely tropical storm impacts. Potentially, hurricane force winds will be possible there. And there's already been some periods of tremendous flooding, which is likely to continue as we head into throughout the rest of today and into tomorrow as well. So that's what is expected for southern Haiti. And after Melissa makes that curve either over or just west of Jamaica, other areas that will be impacted would include the Cayman Islands and Cuba. Long term, the Bahamas, most likely maintaining hurricane intensity. So this is what we have on the horizon, guys. Something that could be catastrophic for the country of Jamaica. It's getting more and more likely. Your model track guidance kind of locked in here. We can see that majority of the models have the same idea that, hey, we could see this thing come too close for comfort or potentially make landfall in Jamaica as we head into next Tuesday. And it would be as a major category 4 hurricane. And this, if it pans out, it will be much worse than Beryl, because Beryl just stayed just south of the island and moved off to the west. This thing is going to be moving up, potentially making landfall, and then of course go into the vicinity of Cuba. So impacts here are likely to be much worse or a lot more intense compared to Beryl last year. And there's still that window of opportunity for it to potentially make it to category 5 hurricane status. So I've talked about the sea surface temperatures and how warm they are, not only at the surface but far beneath the surface. It's like a constant fuel for the tropical cyclone. So again, it is still in its recovery phase. It's getting a lot more organized, and it is going to be strengthening later today, and a period of rapid intensification will be likely as we head into early next week. So hurricane preparedness, what should you do? Just to go over once more: make a plan, secure your documents, so that would be your important files and documents, stay informed, which is what my channel is for, and also to build a kit, an emergency kit, over-the-counter medicine. If there's anyone in the family or any relatives with any illnesses where you need to have their medication on standby, it's good to also have that. And a few days worth of clean drinking water. Regular water sources are likely to be polluted, especially amid all of the flooding expected. Fill up your car, so your gas tanks should definitely be on F. And then to prepare groceries, especially your non-perishable food items, charging your devices, and of course if you're in an area where you question the integrity of your home and how it could withstand a hurricane, or if it's the case you know that it floods easily there, it's time to get to a shelter. And once more, the map showing the various shelters across Jamaica can be found on the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM's website. So it is definitely getting very serious, guys. Time is winding down. I'm prepared for the system personally, and I'm in Western Jamaica, so I'm particularly concerned and very unsettled about how the next couple of days will be. And I will continue to keep you posted as necessary. One final thing I want to look at here before I close out this video is the rainfall forecast for the Caribbean region. So as we're going to be heading through today, this is what the Euro model is expecting, and more color indicates higher rainfall totals. So as Melissa is going to be moving into the area, we find that, of course, the southern part of Haiti, the Tiburon Peninsula, and much of the Dominican Republic will likely experience additional periods of very heavy rainfall. Likewise, especially going to easternmost Jamaica. So the eastern part of the island will be the first to start experiencing those impacts. Also for the vicinity of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, there could be some additional periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the Lesser Antilles as well as the ABC Islands. Going down to the Guyanas, including Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana, will likely experience very minimal rainfall today. And then there's a lot of moisture right now in the vicinity of Central America, so Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, the Bay Islands offshore, southern Belize, and also El Salvador and Guatemala could experience some periods of heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. Cayman Islands, few scattered showers and thunderstorms here and there. For Cuba, it's going to be a similar story. but some additional heavy downpours will be possible for the southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. So guys, a very rough couple of days definitely ahead for Jamaica as well as other parts of the Caribbean. But that's what I wanted to bring to your attention in this morning's update video. So I do hope you found it to be informative. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll get to you when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.